Okay guys, so now we're gonna explain another function, which is a choose function. So the choose function, what it does is that it returns a value from a list of value arguments. Okay, so basically you give it a list of values, a list of options, and you give it the index number or the ordinal position of that option, and then it would choose the option based on the ordinal position that you've given it. So let's take an example here. Basically, we would say equals choose. If you give it the index number, the first argument, we will put a 1, for example, and then we're going to write the first option to be cookies, and then the second option to be chocolate, then the third option to be ice cream, okay, and then we're gonna press enter, and as you can see here, it's chosen cookies, or it's produced cookies, and then if you put 2 in here, it's gonna give us chocolate. If you put a 3, it should give us ice cream. Okay, choose function also can choose between different functions or formulas that you put inside it. So for example, if you put an index number of 1 and then put a VLOOKUP here, let's say we want to look up the sales in February 14, for example, in this array, and we wanted to either look up the sales in February 14 for cookies or chocolate or ice cream. So for cookies we're gonna put an index number of 2, and then for chocolate, and by the way, the index number is for the column index number in the VLOOKUP, not the index number in the choose function. Okay, so based on our choice right now, it would either look up the sales in February 14 for cookies or chocolate or ice cream. Because we put a 1, it's chosen to execute the first VLOOKUP formula that we've got here, okay, which looks up the sales for cookies in February 14. If we put a 2, it's gonna choose to execute the second one here, okay, so it's gonna give us the sales in February 14 for chocolate. And if we choose a 3 here, it's gonna give us the value for sales in for ice creams in February 14. Okay, and a third example here, we can actually choose from different ranges. Okay, so if you put it inside a sum function, let's say we wanted to sum different ranges based on our input. Okay, so the first range it's gonna sum is the cookies, or the first option is cookies, and the second option is chocolate, and third option is ice cream. And based on our choice, it would sum either this or that. So right now, because we put a 1, it should give us the sum for the sales for cookies, which is 68790. If you check that, it's 68790. If we put a 2, it should give us the summation of sales for chocolate, and it's 45261, as you can see here. If you put a 3, it should give us the summation for sales for ice creams, which are 50746, as you can see here. Okay, so also some points to consider with the choose function is that if you give it a number that is less than 1, it would give you a value error. So if you give it a 0 here, this example, it'll give you a value error. And if you give it a number that is more than the number of choices that you've given it, so you gave the choose function here 3 choices, if you put a 4, it's going to give you a value error as well. If you give it a fraction that that is in the valid range, so I mean the valid range of choices is between 1 and 3, so 1, 2, or 3. If you give it a 2.5, it's just gonna remove the fraction and treat it this way, so it's gonna make it a 2. and choose chocolate based on that. If you go to 1.2 for example, it's gonna remove the fraction and treat it as a 1 and choose cookies. Okay, it's a pretty simple function, guys. Thank you for watching this video, and please follow me onto the following video.